I'm going to take you through the cost of this car and what it's cost to repair, from being quite a shed to the car that it is now. So we're going to start with the actual car itself and what it cost me. I'd like to think this is the cheapest IS250 in the country. If any of you watch Hoovie's Garage, or what's the other guy called? Tavarish. £1,250 is what the guy was asking, £500 was what I offered, £850 is what we ended up settling on. There we go. Nathan's shed. A bit dirty in here, got to clean inside. Don't know what else to show you really. Buttons, speedos, radio, air conditioning, seats. It's got the lot. It's very average and very boring and very Japanese. But there we go. Rum, rum. Two other cars that we looked at, one had a little under 80,000 miles and was £3,700. The other had 180,000 miles and was £2,000. One of the features of this car is keyless entry. So as I approach the car, one of the things that will happen, I'll show you that first, is these lights underneath the mirrors will come on as I get close to the car. They call those puddle lights. And the other thing with the keyless entry, you just have to sort of tap behind the door and it will unlock. Spending £10 to put some oil in the car to get it back home, we further to that spent £30 on the tail markers, £20 on a hardwired kit to actually put my radar detector into the car, £20, 10 of which was somebody rinsing with a carpet cleaning machine all of the carpet cleaning that I'd done, and then £55 for new mats to go on top of the new carpet, and then £55 for 2 boot struts to fix the boot which was slamming very hard, £440 which basically covered the gearbox oil which was just a litre, and then 8 litres of fully synthetic oil for the service, some Paget brake discs and pads for the front, plus some pads only as the car came with a rear disc, 2 rear calipers which were £210, a service kit which included a pollen filter, a K&N air filter, oil filter, sump plug ring, and then 6 spark plugs which also cost £75. I spent £450 getting the rear and front bumper painted, £40 to get the lights reconditioned, £6 for a leather pen to do the interior leather, £3 for some plates to put on my phone to mount them to the dashboard, and then an assorted stack of phone mounts that were magnetic which was £9, £8 for a car charger, £5 for some silicone spray to do the inside rims of the windows, finally some door lights to attach to give you those little projector beam things that say Lexus, £300 in tyres, Michelin Crossed Climate, £47 for an air compressor to go in the boot, and then £510 for the following labour, which was to fit the boot struts, the clutch, the spark plugs, the oil filter, the air filter, the pollen filter, the front and rear brake discs and pads, the fault code that was coming up, minor thing that didn't reoccur, the throttle body cleaning, the variable valve timing inspected, the tracking done, and then another £100 for the real calipers to be fitted. The only other things that I've got to do in terms of cash is to buy a little touch-up stick just to do a few little dings and stone chips, and then that's pretty much it. So the total cost of the car, including all of the work, was £3,334, and then including all taxes and insurance, £3,909. I do actually want a paintless dent guy to come out, which may be another £100 to get a few dings out that I can't do with a paint chip machine, so I'll get him to come out and do that. There's a couple more dents. I don't know if I can get them even on camera. They're really hard to see. There's one of them by the door, and I can't see any others. But those dents will be removed just after the car's actually mechanically serviced. So I was going to get him done a couple of days ago, but he said, look, just do it after you've had the car taken to the garage, just in case they do some damage while it's there. So that'll be the final thing, and then I'll do a final walk around when it's done. So the inside of the car is now all clean. Everything is spotless. I've installed my radar detector. Unfortunately, it's not hardwired yet. It will eventually go into the fuse box just down there. Every other inch of the car, you know, inside here and everywhere else, has been cleaned, fitted new carpets. Eleanor's got a new car seat, she's very happy about. Baby's got enough room in the back. I've even cleaned out the boot. The interior of the car is now clean. Even the seat belts, pulled them out, stuck them to the side of the car and cleaned them, pressure washed them, cleaned the mirrors thoroughly. Just going to show you the headlining maybe. Cleaned all of this. What do you think of my car?
Very nice.
Is it clean?
It is very clean. It smells good.
I got the car as close as I possibly could with compounding and polishing before the dent guy came, and then after he came, hit a bit of a snag with two of the panels. So the boot and the one door had very deep scratches, and I've done wet sanding before, it wasn't a massive deal until I went straight through the clear coat. So somebody's obviously polished a few of these panels before to get them shiny, maybe when it was first sold 10 years ago, I don't know, at a dealer. But yeah, the clear coat wasn't as thick as I had hoped, and that was a bit of a snag. So I'm now in a bit of a dilemma as to what to do. I've painted over for now where I've gone through the clear coat, and I'll wet sand that down tomorrow. But yeah, a bit of a disaster. The rest of the stone chips and stuff I can cope with. I'll do all those off the bonnet and wet sand those flat and then polish them, and they should look great. But yeah, that's a bit of a dark time, hence this bit being filmed in the dark. This is a trick I use just to do stone chips. So I take a pencil and cut the rubber tip end off, and then affix with a bit of super glue a piece of 1500 sandpaper, which I'll cut out with a hole punch. So once you've got the little tiny disc of sandpaper, you affix it to the rubber tip pencil, and then before you start your clear coat and paint job, you actually sand down the rough edges of the stone chip. As you can see, the car is not here. All that remains is a load of wet sanding marks where, I don't know, let's call it 80% of the work that I did was successful. I think the previous owner, or one of the previous owners, had also had some detailing work done, and they'd wet sanded the clear coat, which without a paint depth gauge there's no way of knowing. And on two of the panels, the rear boot and the rear passenger door, I went through the clear, which is absolutely devastating. So the car's gone back to the body shop, which is a bit heartbreaking, but nevertheless it will return hopefully by the end of the day. And other than giving it one last final coat of wax, that's pretty much it. I'll get the car back, do a final walk around, and that'll be the conclusion of this video. So here's the final list of all of the things that I purchased and what they cost. The end build went around £500 over what I was hoping to spend, at £3,582 when I exclude things like the air compressor and plates to go on the back of my mobile phone to stick it in the car, basically things that aren't included in the actual build cost. I'm very pleased with that, as I'm not intending to sell the car, so spending a little bit extra to have it looking nice just for me is fine. It's a bit of a shame that I had to spend a little bit more on bodywork, but such is life.